Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of ecoGirlChat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ay, ay, ay. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Jen, and I have our colleagues from ecoprintQ, Lesley and Jodi. Say hi, guys.
Hey. Hi.
But we have a stranger in the chat today. We just met Jenna, and we're so happy to have her here with us today. But Jenna, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, where you came from, all the good stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Well, ladies, thank you so much for having me. My name is Jenna Miner. Although I've been in this industry for 20 years, I think everybody knows me as my maiden name, Stramalio. Either way, same person. And I'm currently working for ConnectWise. My official title is the Channel Development Manager. And really all that means is that I am specifically dedicated to the office technology imaging channel, helping better serve the dealers, diversify by getting into IT services. So obviously, yeah. So there's print, there's production print, there's, coffee, there's water, but there's this whole other side of the business, which is IT services, which includes, cybersecurity and NOC and SOC and expert services and RMM, ticketing tools and everything to help kind of break into their client base and sell a differentiating solution. But all that being said, I had humble beginnings. 20 years ago, I started selling copiers in 2005. And since then, I've only ever worked in this channel. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but here I am today, and I love it. So.
It's so funny. That's the same with all of us, right, girls?
Yep.
We all started there. We all did. And I think that's a lot of us in our industry. Like, it's addicting. Like, you get in for whatever reason, and then you just, maybe there's a little path where your roles change, your companies change, but once you're in, you can't get out. It's like the mob. Right. I don't know.
Yep. You cannot. It totally is. And I've worked, like, to your point, I've worked at a dealer level. I've worked at a software company selling ERPs. I've worked at a manufacturer level. Now I'm on the IT services side. And I think all of that aside, fantastic, loved it. But it was the people. I I still do. I love going to the events. I love meeting new people. It's my most favorite thing. And to your point, everybody has been in this industry. So you kind of have seen them in different roles and seen their career progress. And I love it.
Speaking of going to the events, that's so funny. It's one of the questions we wanted to ask you today was, how do you start conversations with strangers?
If you ask my 15-year-old son, he will say I'm the cringiest person ever because I have zero shame. If I do not know you, I'll straight up be like, tap their shoulder and be like, hello, what is your name? What do you do? Like, who are you? Right. And same. I think even I have no shame. And when I saw this question, I actually talked to my oldest about it. And he was like, oh, I know what you're going to say. You're just going to say, hello, that's what you do. And I was like, that's exactly what I do. I cannot sit down in an airplane or stand in a line next to somebody without like making eye contact, saying hello. And especially in this hyper automated, Chat GPT world that we're living in, I refuse to let go of the human interaction.
Thank you.
Think I love it. And I told my son that too. I was like, Dominic, the generations that are, sitting next to you, you're never going to get that information from them. Stories from Vietnam, stories from their life, where they grew up, right? You can Chat GPT that all day long, but unless you're making eye contact with somebody, shaking their hand, saying, hello, sir, you're not going to know. That's the fun of life,
Yeah, I think that's even more important now in today's time because we are moving away from that connection. We're all talking and we've had a great conversation, but we're still just video.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. In the world of like the TikTok generation where I watch my son do it, he's doom scrolling, right? And I'm like, hello, you have two other brothers here, a whole family. You can say hello, get off your phone. And it's, I oftentimes when I travel quite frequently for work and I'm sitting in trams or Ubers or wherever, and I'm watching people just bury their head in the phone. And it kills me. And I'm not that old, right? I remember a time where it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. People avoid people now.
They do.
Absolutely. People avoid people.
And it's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
It really is.
Do you guys ever feel like, and Jenna, specifically you, of course, but do you ever feel like sometimes you'll start a conversation with a stranger, but they don't want to talk or they're surprised? They're like, someone's talking to me? Sorry. What?
I know.
Yeah.
Yes. It takes like, you almost see the buffering in their brain. Like, should I be offended? Is this offensive? Right. Like, can I engage with this person? I think
is this a weirdo?
Yes.
I think everyone's like, oh, they're talking to me. They're probably a weirdo.
Yeah.
No.
It's so true. And, I don't know. I don't have that. Like if somebody, says something to me, I don't think I have that buffering. I kind of do like, oh, okay, yeah, like let's do this, right? Like tell me about your life. Who are you? But I do find that a lot of times, and it's generational, older anybody 50 and over, I love it. I love them. I just think they're fantastic. And then I'm in that in between, the 40 to 50, and then the younger generation too, even the young kids, it almost hurts my feelings. And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you right now, like this human interaction is going to become more valuable in the world of automation, right? I think we've swung so right with the AI and the ChatGPT and hyperautomation and RPA and all this stuff to make your life easier. I think we're going to have to autocorrect, and the value in small businesses is going to be the human interaction, right? We're going to automate. We're going to have all these workflow processes. It's going to free time up for you to actually be a person again. And I think that's where the value is going to be. I'm hoping.
Yes.
in the next couple of years. So
they'll find something else to fill the time in our calendars with. Some
Yes.
other thing we don't need.
We can have more meetings.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But actually talk in them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jenna, I had a question for you too. What do you think is more important, degree or experience?
I'm very passionate about this question.
Okay.
And I think a degree is great, but it is less important. So, and hear me out. I went to Arizona State. It was the best 4 years of my life. I am a Sun Devil through and through. And I think if you do it correctly, right? I think 4 years post high school should be where you gain your people skills, your networking, grow your network, figure out where you're going to be in life. It's almost, I hate to say this, it's an adult recess. Like, let's be real. Unless you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, or you're going to, and granted, I probably only got into ASU because of my grades, whatever. That's a story for a different time. However, I think the information that you're going to learn sitting next to your mentors, your peers, your jobs, your careers, I think this is a conversation that even I have with my 15-year-old, because he knows how I feel about this. If he wants to go to a trade school, if he wants to go directly into the workforce, this is probably a little not normal. I support that 100% completely. Good. I think that there's an entrepreneurial spirit that people all have. And I think sometimes when you get into a higher education system, it gets stifled a little bit. While education is important, I am just a huge believer that experience outweighs education. And I probably, because I've had a very unique career where I've been able to sit alongside of major CEOs and executive members of big corporations. And I've always, going back to the first question, I'm not shy. Like the embarrassment factor or whatever, like I will embarrass myself. That's the way of life. Everyone does it. Everyone says something stupid, silly, whatever. But I think if you just take the information and ingest as much as you can from that person, it's a huge lifelong experience and just a learning tool, and to just incorporate what they've gone through into your life so you don't repeat those issues. I don't know. I'm very passionate about it. Wherever you fall, I think experience is definitely outweighs the education side of it. Of course, unless you're a doctor, right? Or something where you,
right.
You
there
need
are
the
certain
tools
areas.
Yeah.
We don't want
that. I went to school for marketing, and really, what is that? A glorified sales degree. It basically teaches you how to speak to people. So, I feel like maybe I was born that way. I don't know if I needed Arizona State University education system to tell me that, but here we are.
Yeah. Oh my God, I just went to Lady Gaga. Baby, you were born that way. Like Monday mornings.
Yes. Well, Jenna, I feel like you have shared some really great perspectives, and I love your energy. And to kind of build on that, what has been the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Years ago, I'd have to be in my 20s, I think. And I remember it was during work, and I made a huge mistake, and I immediately it's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. They didn't give me the right information. And the gentleman said to me, this is the best piece of advice. Train yourself to blame yourself, right? And I think that if young people, even I say it to my kids now, to be honest with you, if you look inward first, it's so easy to blame everyone around you. And if you kind of get stuck in the no improvement section, right? If you're like, oh, it's this person's fault and I knew this better and da 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 da, you never kind of grow, right? You never transform. You never have that pain of like, it's my fault. I had the issue. I didn't follow up. I dropped the ball, right? And it turns from a you conversation into a me conversation. And I think that was the best piece of advice. I wish I would have learned it when I was in my teens and I was in my 20s. And I was like, dang, that changes how I view myself, how I view the people that I work with, how I view follow-up and communication. It's just, I see it again. I hate to pick on my older son, but he's getting to that point where he's starting to repeat what I'm saying. You know, I always say curbside review. What's a curbside review? What did you do well today? What did you do poorly? But now he's starting to say, you know, he's training himself to blame himself, which it sounds probably more negative than it is. But if you shift the cube a little bit, it makes sense there. Take accountability is really what it boils down to. Yeah.
That's how you learn. That's how you grow. That's
100%.
That's awesome.
This is so funny, but one of our colleagues here, Joe Polino, he was like channel manager #1 at ecoprintQ. He started in the company's kind of creation years, and he helped train me. I don't know if he helped train you girls as well. I don't know if we ever talked about if he helped train you, Jodi and Lesley.
A little bit,
but
yeah.
He said the same thing to me, but in a different way. So it was just so funny that you said that. He said, fall on the sword.
There you go. Wow.
Same thing. Same thing. Yep.
Same
fall
thing.
on the sword. What could you have done better? If you made a mistake, just own up to it and let's get things moving. Let's keep rolling forward. We don't have to look back on things. Yeah.
People are there's the other, and this is kind of the B to the A, right? And I tell the kids this too, is that it's the manners kind of are lost, right? It's so easy to not say please or thank you for your business, right? I never miss an opportunity to say those things because without our clients, you don't have a business to operate, right? So even if you're in the wrong, you know, say sorry quickly. I apologize. I dropped, you know, it's just, it takes away the elephant in the room. It kind of removes, you know, even an obstacle to move forward. So breaks the ice. Say thank you. Exactly. Say thank you, say please, say sorry. And I think we'll all be better people because of it, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Jenna, I'm curious, who or what inspires you?
100% my dad. My dad is my #1. He's my best friend. He's my mentor. He is my absolute inspiration for anything that I do. From a very young age, I struggled in school, which is probably why I'm saying, you know, experience over education.
Oh, because you're successful.
I struggled with, I was a bad test taker. I have a little dyslexia. I just it was very, very hard for me. And my dad also had that, you know, there are rumors like, I don't know if he went to high school. I don't know if he graduated from college. He is a very successful man right now. And so his inspiration and initiative in life, I don't think if you asked him if he had any regret, if he does, you know, he looks at everything as an experience, good, bad, or ugly. And that's something that I really try and emulate because it is such an inspiration. When we were younger, my brother's older, and he used to tell us every day, he'd say, wake up, take initiative, word of the day, initiative. And I swear to you, since we were babies, he would every single morning. And I think it's something that's so important. People kind of just wake up and they let life happen to them. And if you're not really taking initiative, then you do kind of just whatever happens. And I'm just kind of here. But biggest inspiration, funniest guy. Just, I love him. The best. He's the best grandpa, best father, best friend. He's just unbelievable.
Aw.
I love that.
I know. I'm sitting here trying to think if anyone said dad yet on any of our interviews. And I don't think so. I think this was the first dad, right? It's always mom, all the time. Mom. Kids.
My mom is lovely. My husband's amazing. He's in the army. He's active duty. My kids are great. But my dad's my hero.
Your daddy's girl.
Yeah.
That's right.
Love it.
Oh, I love it. Great answer. Jenna, before we start wrapping this up, I was just looking, oh my gosh, we've had you talking so long. This has been great. Why don't you do another plug for ConnectWise? We have a lot of dealers that are our current partners that watch these videos. Can they contact you if they're interested to learn more about ITS services for their
absolutely.
space?
Absolutely. You can email me. It's very simple, jenna.miner@connectwise.com. We are so interested in helping this channel diversify. And you've read the press. Print is either stable or declining, whatever you kind of look at, right? But there's other services. There's a million different things that we can do to help you either continue to be stable and grow in that side of the business on print, but also bring in another service that can increase your MRR, something that they're used to, they understand. It's difficult, right? IT services, it's a brand new vertical market to get into, but ConnectWise is here to help every step of the way. So if they have questions, feel free to contact me directly.
Man, I wish I could get your services from you, Jenna. I want to be a partner and work with you. Can we sell ITS services here, girls?
Absolutely.
Can we add
That'd be fun.
Jenna, thank you so much for the interview. Everybody, please call Jenna. She'd love to meet with you all and see if she can help support you guys. And from Jodi, Lesley, and I, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Time.
See you next time.
Thank you.
See you next time.